Hold on to your seats, history enthusiasts, mystery lovers, and truth seekers. If you've ever gazed at the stars and wondered about ancient civilizations, if lost technologies and uncharted mysteries ignite your curiosity, then hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because today, we're diving headfirst into one of humanity's most enigmatic creations. Forget everything you thought you knew about ancient art, because we're about to unveil the mind-bending secrets of the Nazca Lines, messages to the gods. Prepare to be dazed, wowed, and left pondering the impossible. The Nazca Desert in southern Peru is a place of silence and wind vast, flat, and dry. From the ground, it seems empty. But seen from above, something incredible emerges. Giant figures, carefully etched into the earth. A hummingbird with wings longer than a football field. A spider, a monkey, a strange figure with wide eyes. Perfectly drawn across the desert floor, so large, they can only be fully seen from the sky. They're called the Nazca Lines, and for decades, archaeologists and researchers have tried to answer the same questions. Who made them? Why? And how? These geoglyphs were first widely studied in 1941 by Paul Kosak, an American historian who suggested they might be an ancient astronomical calendar. But one man, Dr. Aris Thorne, had always believed they were more than that. To him, they weren't just drawings. They were a message, a language meant for something or someone watching from above. Dr. Thorne had spent decades studying the Nazca Lines. But his current expedition, deep in the desert near the massive Condor geoglyph, was different. He wasn't just mapping or photographing. He was following a pattern, something he'd noticed in recent satellite images. A subtle distortion under the right wing of the Condor. A break in the lines. Something hidden. He brought with him a small but skilled team. Among them was Alara Vance, a geophysicist with a skeptical mind but a willingness to explore the unexplained. She operated the ground-penetrating radar. One sweltering afternoon, as heat waves shimmered over the sand, Alara's scanner beeped sharply. "Dr. Thorne, I've got something. A major anomaly about 5 meters down." Excavation began immediately. Days passed. The digging was slow, careful. Then, something appeared. Smooth. Black. Shining. Not pottery, not bone. It was a slab of obsidian polish to a mirror-like finish, and far larger than anything they expected. Obsidian doesn't exist naturally in that part of Peru. It had been brought there intentionally. Beneath it, they found a narrow shaft leading underground. Cool, still air rose from below. Aris insisted on descending first, despite Alara's warnings. With only a rope and a headlamp, he lowered himself into the dark. The shaft opened into a chamber. Small, round, empty of typical Nazca artifacts, no pottery, no bones, no fabrics. Instead, the walls were covered in symbols, not pictures of animals, but geometric markings, glowing faintly blue. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, and on it, a sphere, smooth and warm, glowing from within. Aris touched it. The room came alive. A soft hum vibrated through the chamber. The symbols glowed brighter, and then the sphere projected images. Not carved, not painted, moving, three-dimensional visuals, unlike anything he had ever seen. The images showed Earth, viewed from space. The view zoomed in onto the Nazca Plains. There, Aris saw the Nazca people, but they weren't creating the lines by hand. They were observing, marking, and even correcting the shapes, but the lines themselves were being formed by something else. Beams of light, descending from the sky, burned the shapes into the earth with impossible precision. The Nazca weren't the artists, they were the caretakers of something far beyond their understanding. The next scenes showed the people performing rituals, offering gifts, praying toward the sky, trying to communicate. Then, the light beam stopped. The Nazca looked up, worried, confused, then determined. They began carving new lines smaller, less perfect, less precise, as if trying to call back what had once guided them. They weren't creating for beauty or art. They were sending a message, a plea. Ilara climbed down into the chamber, arriving just in time to see the final moments of the projection. She was silent, stunned. Her scientific training told her what she was seeing couldn't be real, but her eyes said otherwise. "This changes everything," she whispered. The glowing symbols dimmed. The humming stopped. The chamber fell quiet again. What had they just witnessed? Were these beings from another world, or remnants of a lost civilization far older and more advanced than we've ever known? The sphere gave no answersomely clues, but what it showed was undeniable. The Nazca Lines were never meant for us. They were never meant to be seen from the ground. They were created in collaboration, in memory of a power that came from the skies and then vanished. The lines we see today, they're not just art. They're longing. A final call to somethinger, someone that once connected with humanity. When Aris and Ilara emerged from the chamber into the blazing sunlight, the desert looked the same, but nothing was the same anymore. The Nazca weren't just mysterious artists. They were witnesses, chroniclers. Their legacy wasn't about the patterns they left behind, but the relationship they tried to preserve. For centuries, we've wondered what the Nazca Lines meant. Now, we have a theory. They were messages to the gods, not myths, not stories, but a real, desperate attempt to continue a conversation that had once changed their world. And the real question left behind is this: will we ever hear an answer?